I'm on the literal CIA government website. Ignore my Revolve shopping. But literally, like, this is a document that I'm reading right now. Fuck, I'm gonna lose my spot. It's really hard to read. I'm convinced that they make it really hard to read on purpose. The text is like all stretched out and it's a lot of big words and really confusing. I tried to read it last night while I was high and I was like, this is not physically possible. But I looked at it again this morning and like, if you actually focus and actually read it, the shit that's in it is unreal, fucking unreal. Look at this. Although human consciousness can, with enough practice, move beyond the dimension of time-space and interface with other energy systems in other dimensions, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But just think about that. Just think about that for a second. And that's just one sentence out of like, I don't even know how many documents there are like this, but like,
they bigger than Shaq.
What's good, family? How tall do you gotta be in order to secure the top lock on this door? Using my best guess, I would say at least 15 to 20 feet tall, and that is just to touch the top lock. I started looking for giants on record that was tall enough to lock that door. And I found an article talking about a 31-foot giant found in India. It reads, a giant skeleton believed to be of a human giant measured 31 feet 6 inches. It says the huge leg bones alone measured 10 feet and 3 men were needed to move the remains. I found a similar article that took things to the left. It talked about a 31-foot giant ape. This ape was also found in the same place as the last article. When I put the two together, I thought of Hanuman, the Hindu god. He is said to be a man with ape-like features. I can't validate this, family, but nonetheless, in order to lock that door, you have to be really tall. I found another article talking about an 18-foot giant human skeleton. I believe there were people tall enough to close that door, and their bones are held in the Smithsonian. Friend up, family.
Everything from the people to the trees, and of course the animals, were much larger in a not too distant past of ours. And we walk in the shadows now of these former titans in this post-apocalyptic realm of ours. We have realized already that what they tell us about fossilization, petrification, and even carbon dating is far from the truth, wildly inaccurate at best. For those with open eyes, it becomes abundantly clear that the rocks were indeed alive. And for those interested in the true history and beauty of our realm, research mud fossils and question everything, friends.
I ain't choose this gangster shit. This gangster shit chose me. Welcome to Whitewashed, episode 4. In today's topic of discussion, we got the Indians. According to Oxford English Dictionary, the definition of a nigger is a dark-skinned person of any origin. But in early U.S., it was used usually with the reference to American Indians. Indians? Nigga, what? That's right. Furthermore, many of the books written before Reconstruction, as do most advertisements, describes the American or Indian as a race found only in America, of a deep copper color, with black sunken eyes, large faces, and robust bodies. I'm not sure if Iron Eyes Cody fit that description. But Emma Jane Mitchell, on the other hand, now that's a different story. Emma Jane was known as the last Indian princess and a direct descendant of the Maciot, for whom Massachusetts was named. Her daddy was a Cherokee named Thomas Mitchell, and her mama was named Zerviah Mitchell. She was a full-blooded Wampanoag, direct descendant of King Philip. And who were the Wampanoags? Oh, nobody. Just the Indians that Christopher Columbus encountered, Thanksgiving and shit. Now that's the end of part 1. Part 2, we going crazy. So like, share, subscribe, and comment, hurry your ass up, and I'm gonna drop a part 2.
If you read what the Greeks said, not what we think, but if you read what the Greeks said they got everything from Egypt. They got all their knowledge from Egypt. Now, when did we come up with the idea that the Greeks created everything from scratch? 18th and 19th century. And in the 18th and 19th century, it was decided that it was just not appropriate for all this knowledge to come from an African country. Where would that knowledge, where would it have been kept? In Alexandria, in the museum, the library at Alexandria. And what happened? It was burned in a war. What happened to those books that were burned? If they were written in living languages, there was a scholar someplace who had memorized the book and could just write it down again. But if it was in a dead language, like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, end of story. Can't be reconstructed.
The truth has a way of being hidden in plain sight. And the explanation the mainstream gives is laughable. First of all, why do so many American cities have underground cities? Like here's Seattle, but I'll tell you why. Like Seattle's underground. Or the unburial of Kansas City. But back to California's hidden underground city for now. So according to this article, in the late 1800s, they decided to just raise the street level. Keep in mind, Seattle was founded in 1854, they say. So they build out this big elaborate city in a very short time, and then just a few short decades later, they decide, hey, let's raise the roads. Let's not even dive in more to that silliness of the mainstream explanation. What I really like is this right here. So they tell us as they raised the first floor, they just forgot about it. Completely forgot about it. Well, it does take only a few short generations to forget about our history, our true history anyways. But I think many of the subscribers of my channel know the true secrets of the American underground cities. How many underground cities do you think America truly has? I've seen them in Illinois, Atlanta, California, and many more. Let me know if your city has an underground. And tell me the silly mainstream narrative that they give your cities underground in the comments below. And if you want to know the truth of these American mud-flooded cities, and so many more, all across this realm, research the mud flood and fall of Tartaria. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
This is the secret history of America. As children, we were taught that the Spaniards came over and found an indigenous and savage people. But what the history books don't tell you is that there was an advanced civilization here already. Early archaeologists were dumbfounded when they found hundreds of giant-sized mummies in burial mounds. These discoveries led a British prospector named J.C. Brown to travel to a place called Mount Shasta in California. He found a cave at the base of the mountain that spiraled 11 miles into the earth. And it was there that he found an ancient underground city. Inside, he found gold and silver and giant, colossal weapons, but there was no people anywhere. And it was only on his way out that he found thousands of mummies buried inside another cave. He brought back one of the skeletons and wanted to share this news with the world. So he put together a team of scientists and miners to go back into the cave. But on the day of the departure, J.C. Brown was murdered in his tent. One witness said they had seen a tall and hairy bipedal creature leaving his tent that night. The team was disbanded, and the location of the entrance to the cave was forever unknown. Later, explorers trying to find this ancient city would describe strange experiences with tall people that they met in the wilderness. Now, most of Mount Shasta is privately owned, and if you go onto these properties, you're escorted away from the mountain. Though we've now discovered hundreds of giant mummies, scientists believe that they're all fake. But even today, people still search for these ancient and advanced lost cities.
Whenever you see one, you ought to just run like hell. You shouldn't approach it. You shouldn't provoke it. Just get the hell out of its way. Just get out of its way. Just run. You know, there is a way to kill them. If you can't cut off their head, They have two hearts. There's one here, underneath this armpit, and one here. Or if you can't get to that area and you need to slow it down, you need to hit it right above its groin area. It has a very large liver. You need to wound it there to slow it down. It is not something where man-to-man combat you're going to be able to deal with, because they apparently have the strength of 12, 15 men. They're incredibly quick. They're incredibly psychic. They know what you're going to do before you do it. And you know, if they get here en masse, we got real problems.
And the natural form of these invaders is not human. They are described in ancient accounts as serpents and dragons. And man's weapon against them is the sword.
I had a woman in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. I had a woman, I've never really said this in public out loud in front of a lot of cameras, and there's a lot of cameras in this room now. But I had a mother to call me because her son had a very gruesome task. Her son's charge by the Department of Defense was to process 5,000 bodies that had received a single bullet wound to the head. And these were mostly males. And her son was afraid to talk because he had signed a silence agreement. So he only complained to his mother. But the data about these individuals was entered into a Pentagon computer. And then reportedly, the bodies were dumped in a swamp in Louisiana. This is as a result of the tragedy of Hurricane Katrina. Now, I have and I have verification from insiders who wish to remain anonymous at the Red Cross that this is true. I suspect that these were prisoners, and so you know this investigation of the whole prison industrial complex is extremely important, and it should not end with just a question of the nature of prisons in our country, but these 5,000 souls also need some justice too.
Video revealing that graphene oxide, a toxic substance, a poison, was found in the Pfizer vaccines. Those researchers later found that the same applied to Moderna, and AstraZeneca is now being tested as a result of our reporting. The truth is here. USA Today lead stories, all funded by the cabal, were all over me, all over Dr. Jane Ruby, and out calling us liars for reporting those findings to the world in a video that has now soared over, well, I think about 1 million views on Rumble. We have sought the input of many medical experts, world-renowned doctors, Dr. Jane Ruby, Dr. Tenpenny, Dr. Judy Mikovits, Dr. David Martin. They have all confirmed that report. But despite all of that confirmation, the assaults on our truth continue. On Twitter, you may have been recently following the hashtag Pfizer leak. We want to know what's in them. We want to know if it was pre-planned, who's behind all of it. We want to know what to believe, so today we're going to get the confirmation that we need. It's hard to fact-check documents. It's hard to fact-check publicly discoverable proprietary ingredients. It's hard to fact-check Karen Kingston. She is a former Pfizer employee, currently an analyst for the pharmaceutical and medical device industries. Karen, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your bravery. We admire your desire to expose the truth behind what appears to be, to me at least, one of the most, if not the most evil agenda mankind has ever been subject to.
Well, thank you for giving me a platform to share my findings and to spread the truth. And you're right, it is extremely difficult to find this information and link it together. I do have a unique set of skills. This is what I do in the industry. I analyze intellectual property, the legal landscape, for both physicians, pharma, and consumers. And then I'm also a scientific writer and do the clinical analysis as well. So you can't expect everyone to have that skill set to find this information. Right. And the truth is, the whole do your own research was born out of the reality that the mainstream media has been lying to us, and big tech and social media have been blocking the truth, and that's why people have had to do their own research. And that violates our First Amendment. Yeah.
So just lay it out there. Is graphene oxide in these shots?
100% it is, and it's irrefutable. And I'll walk you through it. So what's really important to know is that all of the mRNA vaccines contain what's called a pegylated lipid nanoparticle. And that's what we're going to go through. So if you take a look at the Moderna patent, it says right there that this contains lipid nanoparticle formulation. And as you go through the patent, which I'll show you, they specifically talk about various ingredients and various pegylated formulations.
Part 2 as a surprise.
All right, this video might get you to rethink everything you've been told. Sunglasses on, because we're going to be talking about the sun. If you've been following me, you know that I believe that the Earth is actually a biblical Earth, not the Earth that mainstream education's been teaching us. What I mean by that is, just as the Bible describes, the Earth is immovable. It is a broad plane, circle of the Earth, Isaiah 40:22. It is geocentric. The stars are in the firmament, the sun and the moon as well. The sun rules the day, the moon rules the night. The moon is a light, so is the sun. That's why the moon is invisible at times, or half the moon's invisible. I've done videos on this. Just watch my most recent videos, but I'm about to blow your mind. Most people think that the moon is a rock in outer space, and most people think outer space exists. I don't think that either of those things exist. I think the moon is a light, as I just said. Most people, when they think of a solar eclipse, think of this image. That's CGI. In fact, all the images I've shown so far in this video are CGI. But if you Google what a solar eclipse looks like, this is what they feed you. They want you to think that that's just the shadow of the moon because the sun is shining directly at the moon. Guys, what are the chances that the sun and the moon are the same size? Come on, get with it. But I thought so for a little while too, so nobody is stupid here. No one is stupid. Okay, let's move on. Here's another supposed image of a solar eclipse. Look at that. This is how they gaslight you. You think it's just all black, all dark, because that's just the dark side of the moon, because the sun's shining on the other side of the moon. Nope, 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 nope. Let's see what it actually looks like. But one more thing I gotta show you. I mean, this is fake as it gets. Doesn't it look like the cover of like a video game? But this is what a solar eclipse actually looks like. Look, this only happens during a new moon. The moon is invisible, and look, the sun is invisible. Because the moon is inside of the sun is just a ring. The sun is not a ball in outer space, neither is the moon. They're all spiritual things. Look, I'm going to show you multiple images. The inside of the sun is the same color as the sky because the inside of the sun is invisible because the moon's empty and the moon is inside of the sun. I'm going to show you more proofs. Here's another real image of a solar eclipse about to happen. Look, the inside is the same color as the sky. Let's do another. Look, the inside is the same color as the sky. You have an empty moon, because the moon is a light. During a new moon, the moon is empty, okay? Look, it is the same color inside as it is the sky because it's like, think of the sun as a portal, if you will. A portal, okay? The moon is a lesser light. It's a female kind of entity. The sun is masculine. Dude, look at this. You want more? I'll give you more. This one's a different color sky, but look, the inside is the same as the sky. Blow this up. Let's blow the heliocentric model lie out of the water.
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
She put over 50.
Why is no one talking about what's going on in China? They shut off the power in China, and it's so hot people are staying in caves and sleeping on top of rivers. People are using umbrellas to cover from the sun. People are still falling out due to heat strokes. They are not used to those temperatures.
There is nothing more powerful than you. There is no God in the sky. There is no devil in the ground. All right? Let's get rid of this 500-year religious manipulation that has been used to directly affect our Kundalini energy. Okay? Your ancestors didn't pray to nobody. Your ancestors prayed to themselves. Your ancestors praised each other. When we seen our women, we said, hey, beautiful goddess. Hey, beautiful queen. That's praying. That's why the word pray, etymology, people, means to praise. Pray don't mean to do this. That's what the humans came and manipulated us into believing that this is praying. Close your hands, bow your head, and get on your knees like this. This is what they taught y'all. This is what they.
All right, we talked about the bad guys. Let's talk about the good guys. The Ancestral Republic are the islands located right outside of the ice wall. And if you check the pinned tweet on my page, both of the books, The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls and also Terra Infinita, which is where most of this came from, talk about this. Now, in the first book, it talks about William Morris, who had crossed the ice wall with a group of explorers, and they were confronted by an advanced race, which was the Ancestral Republic. Now, the Ancestral Republic is basically the humans that escaped before the last reset thousands of years ago, before the custodians took over. This is back in the time of the fall of Atlantis, whenever all of the great technology that used to exist here was basically destroyed and taken away and hidden. But they still have it on the outside, which is why whenever William Morris in the 1700s had left through the ice wall, they had seen flying cars and all kinds of advanced technology that they've never even seen before, because they were living by candle lights and things like that. With the help of the giants, the Ancestral Republic is trying to save us now. However, they are having to fight off the Greys, the Custodians, the Anunnaki, and the Reptilians, which is not easy.
We back with some more people about the croak news. Now look, I done told y'all ass they was gonna start coming from my page as soon as I started posting this type of content. I told y'all. And look, I couldn't even post no damn content until Saturday. Y'all talking about where you at? We need some more croak news. I told y'all ass. I told y'all what was gonna happen. So make sure you follow my backup page. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Fitness by SF. Y'all know what's gonna happen, damn it. Get your shit together. Let's get it. Alright, so y'all can see the date right here. That goes to show you I was supposed to post this earlier during the week, but they stopped your boy dead in their tracks with that good old community guideline strike. Said I've been violating too many times and my account is in trouble. Anyway, heat wave in China is the most severe ever recorded in the world. Some people about to croak. Alright, so check the date again on you, boy. All these things are happening one right after another. So by the end of the week, I'm gonna have some more shit for y'all. It's not like this is some drawn out shit taking a long time to happen. Check the dates on my videos. But with that being said, man, it says over 900 killed in Pakistan. Monsoon rains and floods. Now the numbers are even higher than that. You can look this up yourself. They're saying over 1,000. Some people about to croak. All right, so back to the Russia-Ukraine drama. I told y'all last time, that they killed Putin's right-hand man's daughter. You know, come to find out there was an assassination attempt on the right-hand man, you know, but him and his daughter swapped cars at the last moment. So, you know, all gloves off. Russia said, it's time to, let's play. It's over with, let's get it. You know, many killed in the Russia attack on the train station. You know, that's what they saying. Many killed, they saying 22 people, but when you go to other sources, they talking about over 200 Ukrainian troops. That's precision. This is days after the bombing of the girl. Some people about to croak. As in the last video, you know, they were striking the damn nuclear plant. They still doing it. They still knocking bombs next to a nuclear plant. Some people about to croak. They handing out iodine pills. Some people about to croak. You know, and just to throw a little swing in the mix, you know, back when, you know, the little vid shit was going on, y'all was talking about the conspiracy theories and shit. And what we got here? CDC finally admits botched the response. Some people about to croak.
Problem at NASA happening on the ground. Investigator Michael George explains tonight.
8, 7, 6.
They can put a man on the moon.
1. Booster ignition.
But they can't keep track of the equipment they use to do it. That's according to NASA reports obtained by the I-Team. Kennedy Space Center employees report just last year, nearly $500,000 of high-tech items simply vanished.
Something's broke in the system.
Suzanne Padone works for Inventory Management Solutions. Companies hire her to keep track of their inventory and make sure nothing falls through the cracks. We showed her what we found at NASA.
It appears that there isn't really a process working year after year, and it's probably going to continually get worse.
Yeah, this is a story that happens a lot with NASA. Oh, we lost it. Oh, we destroyed it. Oh, someone's taped over it. Check out this article here. NASA's latest moon mission is the dawn of a new space age. Really? Well, it sounds like you're going backwards to me. It says here there won't be any humans on NASA's big trip, but they will use free, high-tech mannequins. That's the term for human models used in scientific research. They will be filled with sensors that will test how the human body responds to space travel. Okay, 50 years ago you had men on the moon playing golf, driving buggies. Did you not do tests on them back then? No? Oh, that's right, you destroyed all the data. Yeah, come on. Then we've got the numbers involved. It says here the journey will be 1.3 million miles in total. Okay, so you've got the 13. Then it says here NASA is currently targeting a takeoff window between 8:33 and 10:33. Why did they pick that particular number of minutes? Why 8:33 and 10:33? Why not just 8:30? Why 33? As you know, we've talked about this before, the use of certain numbers in articles, and 33 is a number that turns up a hell of a lot. In stories that look suspicious. You know, they were 33 years old. It was at 33 street address. Or with the Georgia Guidestones recently, it went bang at 3:33, etc. Here we go again. Look, people will debate this until they are blue in the face. Okay? And it can all get very, very complicated. I like to look at these things simply. Maybe I'm a simpleton. They claim to land on the moon numerous times. 50 years ago, astronauts could play golf on the moon. They could drive moon buggies back and forth to the moon numerous times. Yet 50 years later, all of the technological advancements, and yet they are too scared to put anyone in the rocket 50 years later.
There's some crazy stuff in the book about the Gates Foundation, the Clinton Foundation, and Epstein. It looks like Epstein basically created the HIV/AIDS program that was pursued by both foundations in the early 2000s. And later, the Clinton Foundation and the Gates Foundation teamed up to basically pursue those together at a time when Epstein was meeting with Bill Gates all the time about philanthropy. 36 times that we know about, but they definitely met before the year 2000. But mainstream media won't touch that. The other thing with Gates and Epstein is that there's British media outlets reporting in 2001. Before Epstein was infamous, he was just a billionaire or financier or whatever at that time, right? No one knew about all his naughty stuff. British media outlets say that Epstein's fortune came from his business links to 3 people: Leslie Wexner, Donald Trump, and Bill Gates. How could they have said that in 2001 if Jeffrey Epstein didn't know Bill Gates? That article's never been retracted, by the way. So, and Bill Gates didn't complain about it at the time or ever since, but we're, just believe the New York Times that the first visit between them was 2011.
All right, this may be one of the most important ones I've made so far: the custodians, or the Watchers. Now, the custodians are said to be the evil race that controls all of the worlds, with help of the Anunnaki and the reptilians and the Anakim giants. They basically rule all the worlds, including our own. They are highly advanced and specialize in military and defense weapons, and they hate the human race. Before the last reset, they actually took over our planet and reset us back to the caveman days. So that's why all of the pyramids and stuff basically are a lot older than people think. With the help of the giant humans actually helped us, tried to get us out of here, and gave us the technology to fight back. But they were destroyed by the custodians, which is why the giants left. And now they're on the outside with the Ancestral Republic. The Ancestral Republic, we can talk about them again, but they're basically the good guys, the humans that left the last time and escaped, and now they're fighting against the custodians to try to help us get out. They seem to want to try to get into the celestial lands, which is the spirit world, but they can't. But they have tried, and they are even seen to come outside of a different giant dome other than ours, the Great Dome that encloses the 178 worlds that we exist in.
Primeval Waters, Part 3. Let's get into it. And just as a reminder, I will not be answering any questions in my DM that was already answered in the Firmament lecture. So as stated in previous lectures, especially the Firmament lectures, there were many different ancient civilizations that believed that the earth was hollow with a dome above us called the firmament. Now to clarify, because I don't want you to be confused, they didn't call it the firmament, they had different names for it, but we'll get to that in a second. The Earth being a round spinning ball hurling through space as shown by NASA is still a fairly new idea. And as one of the intelligent brothers in 5D Mystery School stated in their last live, NASA they're not like the rulers of space, but I believe that they are a good reference point when it comes to identifying how people have been misguided. All right, so let's get straight to the point, keep this brief. The saying, the sky's the limit, yeah, there's some truth to that. Okay, so if you ever catch yourself watching a NASA rocket launch and you think to yourself, oh my God, we just went to outer space. Well, technically you are right, because they took an air vehicle above ground level, above the space that we occupy every day, and they traveled straight up to lower Earth orbit. So this version of outer space, yeah, that's a dub. And majority of those photos of space that we see here in the US comes from NASA, not a space agency. Never a single answer, nothing about space anywhere. Now, traveling through water is a completely different story. Now, the firmament has been measured, recorded, and analyzed by our government, and I'm going to show you some documents to epitomize covering up truth. Okay, so here's the introduction to a government document that shows that they were studying a flat Earth. Pause to read the highlighted parts. A comprehensive study of atmospheric refractions errors for optical instrumentation based on a flat Earth assumption will be published subsequently. The relationship is correct for a flat Earth and a flat atmosphere. A flat Earth and a flat atmosphere? That's not what they taught us in school. Let's continue. Pause to read this declassified document from the CIA. It says, one of these was a visual photometer of the daytime sky intended for measuring the brightness of the firmament. The truth is also hidden by fooling the masses with psyops like the Apollo moon missions. And just so that I'm not losing anybody, a psyop is a psychological operation, usually of a clandestine sort. And clandestine means kept or done in secret, often to conceal an illicit or improper purpose. Conducted in secrecy, withdrawn from public notice, usually for an evil purpose, kept hidden, private, underhand. So they have the overhand. Or done or kept in secret, sometimes to conceal an illicit or improper purpose. They use symbolism to communicate amongst each other while deceiving the common man.
So look, yeah, Mystique and Beast are blue, right? I'm saying a lot of them was blue, right? I was waiting for somebody to make this comment. That's why in this movie, X-Men Apocalypse, this right here, that's Apocalypse, right? They showed him he is the strongest mutant and the first ever mutant ever, and he is an Egyptian god, literally brought back to life from the tombs of Egypt. Y'all know they got endless paintings of blue gods in ancient Egyptian tombs and shit. If they draw it, they saw it. If they draw it, they saw it. All of this is just theory though, bro. All of this is just theory. Judging off the theory that they put the truth in movies. So if they put the truth in movies and you just start connecting dots, eventually you're going to see the picture that they try and draw.
Play a video of what graphene oxide does when it is exposed to frequencies. And graphene oxide is something that is being pumped into people's bloodstreams through the COVID injections. So just consider, after a body dies, which has been injected full of this stuff, and the body is still subject to particular frequencies, would it come alive? Would it stand up? Would it move? Would the graphene oxide, the self-assembling nanotechnology, would it make the dead body get up and move? And could they even program this nanotech stuff to do certain things, like seek after living bodies to eat? You see what I'm saying? This could be the bedrock for the zombie apocalypse, this stuff.
Some people believe there's a reptilian race of humanoids living amongst us. There's very few evidence of this, but I'm going to show you guys some videos. Check this out.
Найдено дне Черного моря, неизвестно. Думаете, настоящий? Придуманный персонаж.
We've had 22 fires at food processing plants throughout the U.S. We've had 2 airplanes that mysteriously flew into 2 food processing plants. We've had derailments of food. Now we have a derailment of fertilizer. Add that to the 30% cut in nitrogen that these governments around the world are trying to put on our farmers. You see, they're directly trying to cause us hunger. They're trying to cause a famine. You see, because if they have a world problem, then they can come up with a world solution and become a one world government. That is the plan. That is what they're trying to do. Now, I've been on here telling you, when does it stop and look like a conspiracy and start to look like fact? We are here now on the precipice of a one-world government. You see, they openly claim that they've infiltrated our governments. These people are traitors, and they are trying to starve us.
All right, guys, I got a standard map of the world here. And what I'm going to do right now is look up flights from New Zealand to Argentina. And it should be a pretty straightforward flight, as we can see from the map here. but let's see what Google Flights has to say. So I've got Auckland, New Zealand to Buenos Aires. And I'm gonna hit search. Found a flight here, 2 stops, LAX, JFK. Okay. Auckland to Los Angeles to JFK, JFK to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Huh, interesting. Let's look at the map again. So they want you to fly from here all the way up there and all the way across the United States and then come back down to Argentina. Why do you think that is? Does that make any logical sense at all? Now, what I have here is the standard flat Earth model of the world, Gleason's map. And here, this is New Zealand. According to that flight, we'd be going New Zealand to LAX, there, and then down. It's pretty much a straight line. Gets you thinking, doesn't it?
Widespread food shortages have been predicted for the year 2023 by United States senators, by the UN chief, by the, the London Guardian, the Ontario Federation of Agriculture, the World Food Program. The UN says that the world could be facing unprecedented food shortages in 2023. Unprecedented is a pretty significant word when talking about food shortages. There's also a global study that warned that the world could see a significant deprivation of food by 2023. And I think that all things considered, you have to at least take in mind that there's been a huge uptick in these strange food processing plant fires and people destroying their own cattle and their own chicken under kind of flimsy reasoning. California, remember, they pumped a whole bunch of fresh water directly into the ocean rather than giving it to the rice farmers who needed it to produce rice. So that exacerbated food shortage here domestically. Fertilizer is being attacked, fuel's being attacked. An attack on fuel is an attack on food. So, and bear in mind, there's a 2015 kind of a war game is what I'd call it, about food scarcity. And to me, this looks intentional. And there's utility to having foresight, to not just brushing off these warnings by these major global leaders. And the utility is that this is it's actionable. Foresight is actionable. You can do something about it. Right now, you can get rice you can get about 100 pounds of it for like $40 where I'm from. And long-lasting, shelf-stable foods like rice, like lentils, those are things that would be smart to invest in. I would also have a good hiding spot for it because historically, if there's food scarcity, then there's people knocking on your door, making sure that you're not hoarding, which is a word they'll use to villainize anyone that did their due diligence, was actually smart, and took the time to prepare.
Now y'all should know we've been taught everything in reverse. Okay, nighttime is unnatural. Nighttime is unnatural.
This seems so plausible, and if you think about it, I'm just gonna draw a couple connections. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do or anything, but y'all should probably go back and watch that video, and I'm gonna draw a couple connections. Right? Alright, so firstly, do you know anyone who has visited the Los Angeles casinos? Because everyone in my experience has experienced themselves staying up for long durations of time, and that's because they pump the casinos with pure oxygen. Now stay with me. So now, don't you remember how back a couple months ago they were talking about the big tree theory, like all the Earth's mountains? Oh my gosh, why do you sound like that? All the Earth's mountains on the world were really trees. Now, don't you also remember how in the Bible they also said that people back then used to live a long time, like hundreds and hundreds of years? What if it was because of the fact that they were not resting? The trees that produce so much oxygen then had them not resting. So think about it, when things tend to rest, they tend to age. My natural sleep cycle always has me to be up now. It's 1:55 in the morning. Yeah, we used to have large fungus too, but I have so much more I can say, just like for part 2.
After watching my last video, hopefully it inspired you to go back into your childhood and rewatch some of those old school cartoons and see what kind of hidden gems, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one, you might find. Cartoons not your thing? They love us in sitcoms too. This video dedicated to my Moors who just want to game and watch anime. And we can't seem to do that because we see shit like this, 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 even this. We can't seem to escape it. This video I'm focusing on a couple of animes, one that y'all all might have started off on. Not me though, I started off on Ninja Scroll. Old school for real. Yes, Dragon Ball Z. A lot of y'all faves, but I'd like to specifically focus on the Namekians and their quiet relationship to the Moors. You may or may not recognize this guy here. Yes, sir. Grand Elder Morty. Look at them aliases. Yeah, take a look-see. Now, here's where I was supposed to insert a clip by Dr. Phil Valentine L, where he was talking about humans and their original use of breatharianism, basically human photosynthesis, and how originally our skin was olive-hued or a green complexion. And then tie that back into the Namekians, so on and so forth. But I couldn't find that, you know, because YouTube and their censorship. So go check out this one instead. It's still pretty decent. You can learn a lot, you know. But remember when intentionally, unintentionally, we used to be like, yo, Piccolo was one of us, right? But like, how much more of one of us? You know, like, look at the turban. Even with filler characters like Payton. Come on, bro. Down to everybody's favorite blackface character, Mr. Popo. Aside from his turban and his flying carpet, we're going to look at his name, which derives from this plant right here. The popolo plant, and how the name of this plant eventually became to be a slang term for dark-skinned people. You know, because the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Why would I not tie this to real life, though? Come on. Did you know that there was a Morty samurai clan in Japan? Like, real life? Did you know the founder of the Morty clan, Mori Suemitsu, took the name from his shonen named Mori? And what is a shonen? Describes any of the private, tax-free, often autonomous estates or manors whose rise undermined the political and economic power of the emperor and contributed to the powerful growth of local clans. That place being Mori, bringing it back to Grand Elder Morty or Morty. And speaking of samurai, we know this guy here, Yasuke? Yeah, he may have been more too, but we're going to have to go to another video for that one. Sorry.
So since people want to act stupid about the evolution theory, I'm going to let a white man tell you himself.
Now, if we go back really to the out of Africa idea, you know, I mean, partly the fact that, you know, whether it was a lush environment they were in, there wasn't really much incentive for people to go walking thousands of miles to do things. It's more likely, given this scenario and what Nigel hypothesizes, is that really in the same way that I mess with organisms on plates, that these guys were messing with us as a species, really looking for advantageous genetics. Not so much racism, as we said, you know, these things are running according to a program. They only care about whether they can mess with our genes more efficiently. And it turns out that the molecule melanin, actually, you know, when we mess with genetics and stuff, one of the ways in which we can do it is to use things like ultraviolet light to actually splice the genes in the cells and actually alter the genetics, or to get things to, you know, things we've put in to actually take, so that we can almost microsurgically implant them in the cells. The thing is, if these cells have got a lot of melanin in them, it's a dark pigment, it tends to absorb that light and diffract it and turn it into vibrations, etc. And then the light just doesn't get where it's really supposed to go. And so really, in the discovery, perhaps even accidental, discovery of subspecies of us, if you like, or groups of us, which didn't express so much melanin, made it easier for them to get their genetic profiles into us. And therefore they then sort of sent the white people, if you like, or one group further north. You know, some became the Aboriginals of Australia, some were left in Africa. And so there was this great movement of these different populations, and really then they concentrated on the ones which they had most access to.
Because
not
an adequate explanation. There is no real explanation or justification for the need for pale skin at all.
Yeah, because I think if
dark skin is always an advantage in every circumstance.
Right. As most people would just automatically assume, well, they went to live in the north where there's less sun,
yes,
so therefore their skin changed colour. But that's not the case.
According to Professor Steve Jones, an eminent professor of biology, that is absolute nonsense.
Right. Okay.
There's just no reason at all for pale skin.
You would want to absorb more light, and
explain the special about melanin and how it protects the cell, the DNA inside the nucleus. That's very important.
Part of the reason you can't do these experiments, where there's a lot of melanin around, the melanin actually in a lot of people, in black people, it's actually spread out through the skin. It spreads out through the cells and covers everything. But even in a lot of white people, the melanin actually will coat the nucleus of the cell. And therefore the DNA, your central DNA, even in white people, can be actually well protected from the actions of the ultraviolet light.
There's no doubt in people with higher melanin, natural higher melanin, that it's far more likely that that melanin will be coating the nucleus, the cell wall of the nucleus of the DNA. Now the point about that is that ultraviolet light, which is often used to splice DNA, is blocked by that melanin. It absorbs it. It doesn't allow it in to interfere with the DNA. And it could well be, and this is Nigel's thesis, that this was a blocker for them when they were trying to genetically alter the species. And therefore, when maybe just out of random mutation, something like an albino came along, they discovered, wow, we can get straight in.
Right.
And it may well be that the paler-skinned nation, people on the Earth, have that pale skin because of this genetic experimentation to make things easier for them to work on human DNA. And in fact, Professor Steve Jones argues that this thing about vitamin D being, paler skin being there to allow vitamin D to be absorbed and so on, all these theories about why pale skin happened in the first place, he believes it's not an adequate explanation. There isn't, or justification for the need for pale skin at all.
Yeah, because I think if
dark skin is always an advantage in every.
For years now, the VMAs has been used by celebrities to perform their mock rituals for the world to see. These celebrities act out rituals on stage while the world watches and cheers them on. Even though these celebrity award shows have been falling in viewership, the Masons still use these nights as a night of idol worship and ritual practice. They present their Masonic puppets to the masses as the world watches and idolizes, not knowing at all what is truly going on. Year after year, the VMAs has been openly showing the world that they're pushing the Masonic agenda. MTV never hid the fact that they were Masonic, as their former headquarters building in Canada was even an active Masonic lodge. MTV does not stand for music television, but instead Masonic television. And I actually made a full video on MTV, which is on my second channel if you want to go see it. The link would be in the description. In that video, I gave my opinion and established why I believe the Masons created MTV and what they truly represented. MTV's sole purpose is to manipulate the masses and guide them to a burning end. Many of the past VMA performances have been openly satanic, depicting occultic rituals without the audience having a clue. The first obvious ritual done at the VMA Awards was all the way back in 2003. I know many of you remember the 2003 VMA Awards, where Madonna seems to initiate Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
What do you know about Antarctica?
There's been an archaeological dig there for decades. So they finally found a very large chamber that was filled with stasis pods.
What was in these stasis tubes?
Perfectly preserved biological bodies that if something were to animate it, probably pop right up and move around. They left them there in stasis pods in case of some kind of a later activation.
Do your people know what species?
No less than 3 or 4 dozen different species. We did find some operational jump gates. This was probably one of the oldest intergalactic spaceports on the planet.
In 2001, a British hacker discovered some mind-blowing stuff about the US government. Gary McKinnon, who was wanted for arguably the largest military hack of all time, managed to break into top-secret NASA computers. What he found in those computers would shake anyone's perception of reality forever. As he scanned for documents, he stumbled upon an Excel spreadsheet which was titled Non-Terrestrial Officers, which included ranks and names, and even material transfer between ships. If this is true, which by the looks of it is, then could humans have already colonized other planets with the help of aliens?
So coincident.
Why is it so many Lamars?
Mom and dad is named there as Lamar, huh? Alright.
But who actually were the Illuminati? They too had to take a vow of silence. They were forbidden to speak openly about the society's rituals and aims. Here too, different levels of hierarchy exist. Not 3 as in the case of the Freemasons, but as many as 13.
Have y'all seen Kanye's latest tweets? They are a bit disturbing, and he deleted them. But I found them. Let's read them together. So the first Instagram post that he makes, he says, "My kid's going to Donda," which is his mother. "They are not going to Sierra Canyon. Charlemagne the God and Chris, get your motherfucking popcorn." Who the fuck he talking about? It gets better. He then shows this text message, which I'm assuming the top message is from Kim, and she's talking about her mom. She says, "From my mom, please tell him to please stop mentioning my name. I'm almost 67 years old and I don't feel great, and this stresses me to no end." So Kanye goes back and he says, "Y'all don't have so-and-so over my black children," emphasis on black children, and where they go to school. They will not do Playboy and sex tapes. Tell your Clinton friends to come get me. I'm here. Baby, it gets even spicier. Now, if you look closely, I guess to me, from what I was putting together, I think this is Kylie's assistant. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. But look what it says at the bottom. It says, "Don't let Chris make you do Playboy like she made Kylie," I guess she meant Kylie and Kim, "do. Hollywood is a giant brothel. Pornography destroyed my family. I deal with an addiction. Instagram promotes it. Not gonna let it happen to Northie in Chicago." He then says, "Anybody that says I'm spiraling while I'm expressing the undeniable truth is a sheep." I agree, Kanye. Absolutely. Shut the fuck up and worry about your own kids. Absolutely. Absolutely. I obviously am dealing with wars at the highest level of control and discrimination based on the level I'm operating at. A conductor got to turn their back to the audience to direct the orchestra. Oh yeah, Ye is crazy. It's basic as fuck at this point. I'm simply right. But he's absolutely right. Now, if you sit there and you call him crazy for saying what he said, I mean, I think that he has some logic because he's trying to protect his children. We've seen what these high witches do. And yes, I'm talking about the Kardashians. They are high witches. I don't care what nobody says. He is talking about the spiritual warfare that he's battling with these high witches, white hoes. I'm sorry. He knows what he's battling. And he's like, what the fuck did I get myself into? That's literally what he's saying. What the fuck did I get myself into? Who did I marry? He's like, who the fuck did I marry? I agree with Kanye. Everything. Protect the kids. Y'all see what the fuck is going on with these kids. Protect them.
This is going to be an esoteric breakdown of DJ Khaled's new album called God Did. Now, when you break down the metaphysical principles of the word God, it means governmental ordinance departments anua coeptis, which coincides with Gnosticism. And Gnosticism talks about the archons. The archons are basically the personification of draconians. Now, Jay-Z has a verse in a song, and he says, "I never wanted to be the state custodian. The laws are draconian." Now, this is why you got to get this book called The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls by Nas Confundin. And he basically tells you that the Draconians and the Custodians basically work in synergy. They're basically one and the same. So when you see celebrities and rappers giving praise to God, they're basically giving praise to the Archons, who are basically Draconian reptilians, custodians. Because the Draconian reptilians, they control the three-dimensional world through materialism and money. Now, if anybody knows anything about Jay-Z's career, before he started rapping, Dr. York used to be his mentor, so he has knowledge himself. He has knowledge of all the metaphysical things and extraterrestrials and things of that nature. So him putting that message in a song is not a coincidence. With that being said, tell me what you think in the comments.
Married to the life is holy matrimony. The laws are draconian.
The truth about our hair. Wearing your hair long is because it connects you to nature. The more you let your matted hair, matted ether, the more you let your matted ether grow, it holds all this electricity and energy. See, this is why we wore our hair like that. And we are magnets, magnetism. So this makes you more magnetic. Your hair makes everything about you. It's like your locks is like crystals. Your locks is just like wearing motherfucking crystals. You know what I'm saying? Your locks or your afro, or you let your hair just grow out, braids, locks, goddesses, just natural hair. When you let your hair just grow naturally, you ain't have to do nothing to it. Just let it be natural though. Okay, how you style it? You can style it however you want to style it. You need to have some ether on your motherfucking crown chakra, my nigga. Especially with all this light coating they're doing. Because then if you got ether, it helps protect you against it, especially if you're aware. The longer my ether get, the more powerful I become, the more tapped in I become with everything, with all of nature. Everything be attracted to me. Say, look, when you go in the military, they program the fuck out you, right? And notice, what do the military do? Shave their hair. They understand the signs of you, man. They understand the signs of you. And when you get to noticing this shit, you can see it's war. Every little thing has been around you just to hinder you. And once you accept that, now see, that's the cookie. That's the cookie that nobody wants to crumble.
I am genuinely shocked right now. I was watching this one chip video and the guy ate peanut butter cups to cool down the burn. And I was like, oh, how cool. I've never tried that before. Let me go find a small business that makes peanut butter cups and then I'll do a hot or not and test it out for y'all. So I went down this rabbit hole looking for small chocolatiers that make peanut butter cups. And y'all, I cannot believe what I found. I'm not sure what's more shocking. The fact that child slavery is so common in the chocolate industry that slavefreechocolate.org needs to exist, or that well-known American brands like Hershey and Nestle aren't on the list of companies that don't use child slavery to make their chocolate. At this point, I'm sure y'all are probably as shocked as I am. But I can tell you one thing that's for sure. I am never buying chocolate from Hershey or Nestle or any company that is not on that directory of slave-free chocolate, period. It's just crazy that in today's society, this even exists.
We have found many Atlantis-type civilizations in cities deep off the coast of our oceans. Many of these images are from the lost Egyptian city of Alexandria, found several meters underwater. Yet we hear very little of these civilizations and cities they find time and time again buried in our oceans, because it shows the grand and expansive past of ours, reset many times. There has been many reset events since the great flood of Noah, and the evidence can be found all around us. Question everything, friends.
Okay, so there's something I genuinely don't understand about Earth that needs a lot of explaining, and it has something to do with this. How come there is so much war, conflict and division, but when it comes to this continent, we could all agree on something. Bro, quickly look at the countries a part of the Antarctic Treaty, which is basically an agreement saying that the continent only be used for peaceful and scientific reasons. Look at this, China, Cuba, Canada, Australia. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Look at this, Russia, Ukraine. Like, aren't these people at war? Most of these countries hate each other's guts, but when it comes to this continent, they're like, oh yeah, no, let's not mess around with that one. Here's a quick history lesson for you. This man was obsessed with Antarctica. He created a base there, he studied UFOs, and he even created an anti-gravity craft known as the Bell. Not to mention the artifacts they find down there, and the strange geometric structures that nobody could explain. Even elongated skulls that were not made by head binding and have non-human DNA in them. This is not a conspiracy theory, this is genuine observations made by the people that live on this planet. Obviously there's some missing links and things we're not being told that we should be told. You could try to explain this however you want to make this sound normal, but you cannot deny the fact that there's a lot of mysteries going on here.
Trigger warning.
This is a trigger warning. This is for informational purposes only. So don't be trying to ban me, kick me off or nothing. I'm just trying to show you proof, and I'm going to put the comparisons in your face to teach you the difference on how they try to indoctrinate and brainwash all of you. So you need to wash your dumbass brain. That's all I'm going to say. So while making this video, TikTok decided to mute my video. So we're going to try this again.
1 little, 2 little, 3 little engines. 4 little, 5 little, 6 little engines. Uh-oh, sorry, that one was a half-breed. 7 little, 8 little, 9 little engines. 10 little engine boys.
So these are like my third great aunts and my grandma. And I just want y'all to notice something. Look at the nose. You know what I'm saying? The didn't I mention something about the nose? The nose. Now watch this. Look at their nose. I would have snapped a quick. Hold on. I'll get one for you. Like the way the records are coming back. These are my people. I said, look at their nose, right? Check this out. Like, I'm not playing games with people when I say this, bro. And yo folks was on the Trail of Tears. I mean, they was just taking your folks' land, period. That's what that mean. It was wiping them out with a pen and making them move, or, you know, going to war with them for them 110 years. Remember I said they make fun of you in the cartoons? You want me to do that one more time for you? Do you want me to do that one more time for you? Look at us. Say move. You want me to do that one more time for you? These my third grades. They was making fun of y'all, bro. And then, you know, they were trying to be funny. They knew who y'all were, and then they started calling themselves Indian. They're eating watermelon. They making fun of y'all along throughout history. But you're still asleep. And you was trying to fight back, but they always put your ass back to sleep. And this how I'm looking at your ass. Cause this y'all today. And they looking at you like, damn, after 400 years, you's a good one, boy. The account I'm talking on now. My main account they want right now. I'm just telling the truth. Somebody said it with no American Lions. They said American Folk Art Museum. Look at this shit. Hold on.
So in an unsurprising turn of events, we have Beyonce who recently dropped this album, and I was meaning to get to this, but I didn't get a chance. On the actual dedication, she dedicates it to her gay uncle, which is whatever, but fallen angels of club culture. To read the exact quote, she says, "Thank you to all the pioneers who originate the culture, to all of the fallen angels whose contributions have gone unrecognized for far too long." This was a photo that she recently posted where she's posing with a Baphomet. Looks like she's wearing a Baphomet on her shirt. But again, this is like that thing where you constantly see it over and over, but people will dismiss it because they idolize Beyonce or because they think that she is empowering or looking out for them. In an article written by Rolling Stones about her latest album, this is what they say. Divinity is corporeal and innate. It's in the church, it's in the dance floor, and it's in you. They go on to talk about how God is actually in us. This is something that Jay-Z talked about on his last song that he did on Khaled's album. It's something they've been talking about for a long time, and I'm unsurprised that they're talking about it again. But this time she's thanking Fallen Angel. Be careful what you listen to and careful who you idolize.
Y'all, so check this out. As you know, I had posted a video yesterday of me going to this Asian market. Peep this. So in my video, you seen that I had a box of mangoes in my basket. So I was gonna eat one of these mangoes last night before I went to bed, and right off the bat I had noticed the code on here, which is already a no-no. On top of that, you see this this green logo right here, and you see where it says treated by irradiation, right? So I typed in what is treated by irradiation mean. So I'm doing my research basically, and this mango has been exposed to radiation. In the research, I've came across that it says that it was like a UV light and it's been exposed to radiation, and that by law the World Health Organization, the CDC, and FDA have to put this label on to warn consumers of what they're buying, basically. So if you're not aware what this green logo is, it means that the product has been exposed to radiation. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm just really getting bothered at the fact that the elites they're trying to give us cancer. I'm just gonna flat right out say it. The skin products that we use are out to give us cancer. Most of the foods that we eat and the ingredients that's in it is stuff to make us sick. This is sickening that they are exposing the fruit to radiation. I don't care what anybody says, like who does that? It's not safe, obviously, but yet they're doing it. And they think that people are stupid and they're not gonna type in stuff and do their research and find out what this means. I'm glad that I'm a person that's always open to seek knowledge and do my research and know what I'm getting myself into before I get myself into something. And I will be returning this box of mangoes, unfortunately. I'm very upset because I had taste for a mango, but I'm also relieved and happy that I am a person that's out to always receive information and stuff like that. These mangoes is not safe. Pay attention to the labeling that is on your produce. Peace and love and light.
Everyone needs to share this shit, bro, because this is fucking insane. Our beloved search engines. You know when you search for something on Google or any other search engine, it says we found like 7 million results in like 0.3 seconds.
Yeah.
I tested that. Is there really 7 million search results for this one thing?
What do you mean? How did you test that?
Oh, I'm gonna show you right now. So I noticed this very much with controversial things. So I typed in January 6th. You know what happened January 6th, right? The storming of the Capitol. This is the first page on DuckDuckGo. I'll refresh it for you right now so you can see. Let's go to view more results. You're gonna go down a little bit. Yeah, you keep going. You're gonna keep going. When you start to notice from this point on, they are the same fucking websites. Right here, we got Wikipedia, January 6th organizer. We got this shit, more results. Go down. We got the Wikipedia, January 6th rally organizer. Right here, the Capitol Police, same shit.
God,
we keep going.
The same one.
Wait. Let me see this.
So look, go right here. There's the Wikipedia again. The January 6th organizer.
What the?
Wait.
Capitol Police.
If you do this one more time, bro.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No. Look right there. January 6th. Capitol Pilot.
What the fuck?
What I'm trying to tell you guys, our search results give the illusion of so many choices. You ever search for something and you go on the second page of Google? Never. You never fucking do that. You expect the search results to be the first thing on the page. You might go on the second page.
Yeah.
Not really past the 4th or 5th page. Who's really going to check that? The age of doing your own research is coming to a slim end.
Yo, if y'all don't know, that's some crazy ass shit for real. I mean, for real, y'all know how bad it's about to get? Bro, it's a judge, a federal judge, just got snipped for smuggling humans, y'all. That's so big. I mean, big. Y'all know what's about to come out after this? Judge gonna be singing like a canary. More judges, more police, more politicians. To Guantanamo Bay, they go. Whole time though, it's gonna get even fucking scarier, y'all. Once y'all find out that these people been using human meat, dead human meat, to make McDonald's and every other fast food restaurant y'all like, food, it's gonna change the fucking world. If we allow it. Shit is fucking crazy out here.
What is going on in our world? This is Pakistan. They're experiencing one of the worst floods ever recorded in their history. Over 1/3 of their entire country is literally underwater. Millions of people lost their homes. All their crops are completely, utterly obliterated. Schools, health facilities, streets are all gone. But like right next door, isn't China going through one of the worst droughts they've ever recorded? Where you got all sorts of things appearing. In Germany, the drought caused this stone to appear. That dates back to 1616, which literally translates to, if you see me, then weep. These were the recordings of national famine that they went through back in the day, that if they saw that level, that expect big things to happen. We had Hitler's ship appear in Serbia, which dates back all the way to 1944, which mind you, that's actually not that far ago. And then we got dinosaur prints appearing in the United States. Dinosaurs? Are you kidding? My mind is going absolute bonkers with it. How can you have floods on one side of the world and then right next door you have droughts happening? Call it for what it is. It's just weird to me, and I'm just pointing out what's happening around the world. What do you guys think?
This country is the home of the free. They saying it's the home of Freemasonry. When you in the military and they tell you to go fight for freedom, they're telling you to go fight for your master Freemason. Showed how a lot of these words that you thought were one word was actually 2 or 3 goddamn words put together. Now, when somebody does that, that's called a prefix. So I know we hated English class, but we're going to have to go back to learn prefixes and suffixes and etc. And so a prefix word is exactly what it sounds like. A word that was prefixed. It's when you take 2 words, put them shits together to create one word. So free is actually its own word, and dumb is actually its own word. Free means Freemason, and dumb, D-O-M, means master. Go look this shit up. And freedom literally means master Freemason. So when they tell your ass this country is the home of the free, they saying it's the home of Freemasonry. When you in the military and they tell you to go fight for freedom, they're telling you to go fight for your master Freemason.
Well, whenever Atlantis went down, a lot of them, some of them went to Egypt and were survivors and to other places, but some of them went underground. And there's an entire cities all throughout. There's all kinds of tunnels and transportation systems that link them all together. Some of the trains and things down there can go 3,000 miles an hour to link the cities together. There's like a sun inside the earth that lights everything. So they have light, they have lakes, they have water, they have everything they need. And there's animals down there that do not exist on the surface of the earth. They have live computers, if you want to say that. This is in my 2nd volume of the Convoluted Universe. It talks about the underground cities. They have computers that we can't even approach that can create and do anything they want.
So the people at the top are trying to destroy masculinity. Here's the how and the why. First, they're going to get rid of all the masculine male models, like Andrew Tate, for example. Next will probably be Liver King.
Then they're gonna spread their agenda through propaganda, influence, things like getting your pee-wee chopped off, putting strong female leads in movies, destroying the household unit to make the females more masculine and take over a man's role. They have all types of little tricks and tactics. They're also poisoning your food. They're putting soy and estrogen in your food in order to make you more feminine. So when they keep you in a manic, high anxiety state, it makes you more feminine. They understand psychology and human nature along with biology. They know that men are only in their prime when they're conquering, dominating, fighting, philosophizing, learning. And when they take men out of their true element, they're left with female traits. This makes you susceptible to making irrational decisions and thinking with your feelings as opposed to thinking logically. By keeping you in a state of high anxiety and manic and depression, this is how they destroy your masculine. This also takes away the ability to overthrow any government. They know that a masculine man is more likely to rebel, so they're going to keep you obedient. And how they do that is by destroying your masculinity. And thinking with your emotions and irrationally makes you buy more things. It makes you spend more money. It makes you stay in the house. It creates the inability to fight. Ultimately, it just makes you a beta male. And the people at the top need you to be weak. They want you to be weak so they can feed off of you. It's always been this way. The strong have always dominated throughout history back in caveman days. So you're always going to have the little weak beta male that's going to try to outsmart the big alpha male in order to suppress them. Come on now, the people at the top aren't strong. They're not masculine. They're betas. Open your eye.
Part 8, Gucci Mane Part 8. And y'all know I ain't coming to play. They done banned my Part 6. Let's just take a moment to remember my nigga Gucci, man.
You don't have money or can you still pull it off?
See, when I ain't had no money, I still had sauce. So if you don't got no sauce, then you lost. But you also get lost in the sauce.
You can get, how you get lost in the sauce?
Man, a bitch gonna get lost in the sauce, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, man.
I'm sprinkling salt, dropping sauce there with street, man.
That is Gucci. Take a close look at that. That is Gucci. Take a closer look at that. Pause if you need to, goddesses and gods. This is Gucci. And then they programmed us to believe that this is really fucking Gucci. So what prison do they have a dentist at? When did they do beard surgery or let inmates have things to make their beards grow? What prison is that at? Take a look. Rapper Gucci Mane made his first court appearance Wednesday on charges of aggravated assault and aggravated battery in connection with an alleged attack at an Atlanta nightclub, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office said. Mane, whose real name is Reggie Davis, was denied bond, authorities said, and he will remain in Fulton County Jail until April 10th. My whole point of that was they was never for Gucci in the first place. But the only way he went from this to that is if he had some special privileges while he was incarcerated. And clearly we just seen there, not for Gucci. They didn't even want to let him out. But hold on, I need y'all to check this out though. Does anybody remember this? I woke up to him trying to lick the ice cream caught on my face and just blacked out, said rapper Gucci Mane to a judge where he is now facing charges of first-degree murder. Gucci Mane, who is currently facing 20 years in jail on a federal gun charge, killed his cellmate early Saturday morning after the man apparently tried to rape him in his sleep. He tried to touch me down there, said the So Icy rapper as he pointed toward his crotch area, demonstrating that the deceased man attempted to touch his private parts while he was asleep. Evidence reveals that Gucci Mane choked the man to death with his bare hands and faces 25 to life if convicted, but is pleading not guilty and claims self-defense. In a closed statement, the rapper showed remorse by stating, "I would never purposely take another man's life, but if I had to, it would be Young Jeezy." So whatever happened to that? Let me think. So if Gucci turned down the deal with the elites, they put a charge on him. He still said, "Fuck you." So they cloned him.
Infested. People have gone through all sorts of old footage, old movies, old sports footage, and finding all sorts of curiosities. Here's Michael Jordan. Look at that. Look at that arm. How do you explain that? Camera glitch? You ever wonder how they rig pro sport Far from the only example. Chris Brown, watch his hand. The one holding the basketball. And look at him try and hide it. He felt the shift. Look at that, the fingers. Hiding that hand.
I am urging all the ladies in Gwinnett County to stay safe. There is going on right now as we speak. My car was marked. They smeared this on the side of my car yesterday while I was at work. And they also put a highlighter stick under my car where my spare tire is. They put an orange dot on my tire and then they put an orange sticker on the side of my car. This is happening at my job, so I am not the only lady this is happening to. It's happening to other ladies at my job, and we are very terrified. There's not a lot of dispatchers in Gwinnett County where we're at, so every time we call the cops, it does hang up. But we did call the cops last night, and they did come, but that's the most they could really do. And they were taking pictures of our license plates and cars, so please stay safe. Keep an eye out for a white RAV4, a red Ford Focus, and a gray Honda Civic, and do not walk alone at night.
Absolutely. And Donald Trump actually showed me that method. That's how he didn't pay tax. A kind of that method, but yeah. That's weird, right? Yeah, that's.
You vote for Donald Trump?
Who vote? Nah, why would I vote? A vote ain't nothing. No, shut up, Walker.
There you go.
Yeah, I vote, man. Ain't trying to get knocked off.
You trying? They want the people to come.
Hey. Them folk got real guns, man.
They don't get it fucked up. Walker voting, y'all.
Yeah, he's voting.
Yeah, I'm voting, man.
That nigga said, why would I?
Man.
Hold on, I'm voting.
Yeah, that little Illuminati bug in my ear like, shut up, I'm coming to get you. You know something? I'm not going to join y'all. I'm not going to talk about y'all. So let it be.
Heish went into a coma on Monday after the accident. She suffered a severe brain injury. Police say Heish had drugs in her system at the time of the crash.
They say that Heish suffered a broken sternum, which led to her death.
Wait a minute!
That doesn't look like a coma to me.
.6 magnitude earthquake in China, causing devastation throughout the province of Xinjiang. That's how you say it if I said it. September 5th, 2022. These are scenes from people's security cameras from shops, and it definitely shook China. These are signs of the end times, guys. These are signs of the end times. Right, you got mountains dropping boulders, rocks, you name it. Yes. Let me just cover myself with my book. So these are definitely the scenes after a 6.6 magnitude earthquake. And I quickly just want to say, as I'm commentating this, that experts are saying that when the earth begins to shake continuously in the same place is because there is some kind of magma activity going on underneath the earth. We know that China does have some volcanoes and some pretty big ones. So these are warnings that there could possibly be some volcanic eruptions in places they've never experienced it. We don't know what's going on underneath the earth, but I will say that there's a lot of this going on around the world where mountains are being leveled, and we need to be praying, guys. We need to be praying. Yeah, when you see these kinds of things, guys, the Bible says, look up and see that your redemption draws near. We know that something is about to happen, and you don't need to be spiritual to know this. Just when you look at things like this should put the fear of God in you. I mean, these people know they're in China. I'm getting the heck out of here. Forget my business. This is no time to be pretty, trendy, or any of that. It's time to repent. For the kingdom of God is at hand. And let me tell you, the devil is taking no prisoners. Call upon the name of the Lord before it's too late.
Are y'all really ready to talk about these two sons? So I know y'all remember this video. 1 second, because they not gonna like this. Right. So we know that China launched our artificial sun, and the machine will help harness the power of nuclear fusion or electricity. And mark my words when I say this, unlimited clean energy. Because they're saying that our sun, that grows life all over the planet, increases our mental health, gives us energy, activates our genes in our DNA, lowers our blood pressure, and gives us mental health. It's not a clean energy source, and it destroys our planet. Now, once you get on a specific frequency, the sun is healthy for you and even gives you information. I can see why it could be an issue for low vibrational people. We know that the planet is raising its vibration, and a lot of changes and awakening is happening. A specific people will want to stop that. Even Bill Gates said he wants to dim the sun, and he's been doing it. Now watch.
It would look something like this. Thousands of planes would fly very high and use nozzles to inject millions of tons of light-reflecting particles into the stratosphere. It would create a thin chemical cloud of those particles around the whole planet, blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface.
So we know that they want to block the sunlight. They've already showed us evidence that they can make a sun. They've shown you evidence of fake clouds they can create to block the sun. What makes you think that we don't have one of these in America? When people capture these images, it's always seeing a second sun trying to get closer to the other one. Now y'all literally playing with fire. And people wondering why it's hurricanes, flooding, and why it's just getting hotter and hotter everywhere. And y'all are also seeing effects in the sky, especially with the sky turning green and all different colors and the clouds even looking weird. There's even a movie called Nope that literally shows you that they hide things in the clouds, especially UFOs that they own and portals that are beginning to open on our planet. Y'all stay dangerous, keep y'all vibrations high, and stay aware. Let me know what y'all think.
The biggest conspiracy theory about Jennifer Lopez is that she has no vocal talent, she's a fraud, and she does not sing her own songs.
Mariah says she often sleeps just 3 hours a night. When told Lopez claimed to get 8, Mariah said, quote, "If I had the luxury of not actually having to sing my own songs, I'd do that too."
This theory goes that after record labels saw J-Lo's mass popularity as an entertainer after the success of the Selena movie, she got a record deal to make her own music. But the men at her label realized that maybe the music would do best if it had J-Lo as the marketable face of the music, but someone else's vocals who is more vocally talented. A shocking example of this is J-Lo's own trademark song, Jenny from the Block, that was sung by aspiring singer Natasha Ramos, who was allegedly hired by J-Lo's label because her voice was similar, but better.
I'm still Jenny from the Block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from.
A second example is J-Lo's song Play, where Christina Milian sings the whole chorus. None of these singers were credited on the songs at all or paid as being the lead vocalist on the song. The craziest example is the I'm Real remix that wasn't sung by J-Lo but sung by Ashanti, which caused a lot of controversy because Ashanti, a black woman, was singing it and she sang the N-word, but J-Lo took credit for singing the song, so J-Lo was called a racist.
I tell them niggas mind their biz, but they don't hear me though.
Before I say what J-Lo has to say about this, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about each of these celebrities and request who you want to see next. Men at J-Lo's label said that using other artists' vocals is common practice in the industry. J-Lo herself has never commented on it. And about her saying the N-word, she said, for anyone to suggest that she's racist is really absurd and hateful to her, and the song was not written by her, it was written by a black man.
What's happening, y'all? My name is I Kill the MC in the UK, doing some solo dates right now. It's just like impromptu almost. At Genesis Elijah, who has an album coming out this month, is a UK artist. It's Logic and stuff, who's from Brooklyn, New York. Singer, songwriter, rapper. J5 is pretty large here in the UK, so I'm just trying to do my thing and let the people know what I do. I guess I killed him. Yeah. Big up, much respect, Kouvr. Thank you for even inviting me and having me down and do this.
Okay, you guys remember how I showed you the maps that were here on Earth before 1958, before the governments took them out? Now I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here's volume 2 out of the alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica, and this is from 1958, as you can see. Now, we're going to flip to the Antarctica and see what the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says is there. Now, you won't find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is, notice how it says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Take a really close look at that. Now I'm going to zoom it in for you. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, let me show you with an image of what a flat earth map would look like. Now, this is what latitude 80 degrees south would look like on a flat earth map. As you can see, the dome comes down closer to you over the wall, which will be about 13,000 feet. Now, if you go back out into the center of the earth, or up the North Pole, and try to go up to the firmament with a little bit of calculation, it's going to show that it's about 385,500 feet away. It's really simple, folks. Now, if you're not familiar with any of this at all,
Mike Tyson's image was destroyed back in the days because he was starting to tell way too much truth, and there's a specific reason why Don King was assigned to him. I want you to watch this video first.
Money, and if it's my money, I haven't stolen it. Isn't it my business to do what I want with it?
Do you know what you have?
Well, I have a ballpark figure, yes.
And you know where it is, and you have control of it?
Well, like I was saying, it's my business, and no one else should worry about how much money I have. No one should worry about how much Donald Trump has. I never asked how much he has. I never asked how much the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds have, or Magic Johnson, any athlete by that. Nobody asks about that. Why all of a sudden they want to worry about me by putting me in the situation?
Okay, so I'm going to add my 6 cents about reptilians. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, please understand I have done a ton of research on this, and I am very connected within the spiritual community that are working in different dimensions to fight the reptilians. You can believe in them or you don't. That's fine. But they are real. And what I find interesting about the ego of humans is that they honestly, a lot of people think that we're the only creations that God could have made. And it's simply not true. If you go back, like way back in history, this technology came from somewhere. The Egyptians and the Atlanteans had technology that far surpasses what we're even at now in 2022. And it came from somewhere. Okay, so UFOs, sightings, reptilians caught on camera, it's all true. And the reptilians are very, very, very evil. And they, I know you guys are going to nail me for this one. They are the problem, the biggest problem with the feeding of the little ones. And you know what I mean. So, when I say that I have other people in the spiritual realms that are fighting on different dimensions to get rid of these guys, it's true. And I've seen it myself, and I wish I could be there fighting with them like that too, but I'm not. That's not my superpower. So please know that if you know these people and you believe in this, you are not alone. It is not fake. It's not a conspiracy theory. The reptilian race has been here for a millennia, if not longer. All you need to do is go back, even read anything by Dolores Cannon, you guys. Please, I'm begging you. When you start opening your mind to other realities and other places of existence, quantum mechanics and quantum physics is real. That's all you need to know. And there's a really wonderful movie that was done about 15 years ago called What the Bleep Do We Know? It's available on YouTube. You can go get it. And it really helps open your mind to other possibilities of what reality really is. Everything that we're experiencing is reality. It's all based on our 3D perception of what's happening around us. So if you go watch the movie, it's called What the Bleep Do We Know? Just be aware that once you open that rabbit hole, you can't go back. And I really want to hear you guys' comments about your experiences working in the other dimensions and with the reptilians. It's real. It's a thing. Call me crazy or don't. I don't care, because I know what my truth is. It doesn't have to be your truth. Just have an open mind.
Hey, you remember that guy that ran up to all the astronauts and asked them to swear on the Bible that they walked on the moon and got punched in the face and everything? Yeah, that guy posted a YouTube video yesterday, and I cut it up a little bit and put something together for you guys. I'm going to need you to watch it. And then after you finish watching this, go into my link tree, into my bio, and check out my podcast. I tear apart the heliocentric model for 2 hours, so check that out. But enjoy this.
Hello, my name is Gene Gilmore. My birth given name is Eugene Reuben Akers. I don't want any money for what I'm doing because hopefully this video won't come out until after my death. So I have nothing to gain, nothing to profit by telling you what I'm doing. In 1968, okay, in Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, he said by the time he got there, that there was already 2 large hangars that were connected. There was hundreds of dump trucks that came in and dumped sand and stone, and cement powder was powdered over the top of all that to make it look like a lunar landscape. Fashioned it into a lunar landscape, he said. Okay, I've never known my dad to lie, so this all took me by surprise. Lunar lander that was reassembled back inside the hangars. All of the walls were painted flat black, and the ceilings as well. He was sworn to secrecy by the NSA, and they would put him in prison for breaking that oath. When Dad saw the moon landing on TV, he cried. He said he knew that what he had witnessed on TV was exactly what they recorded. There was a list of 15 people who could enter. No one else was allowed by order of President Johnson. President Johnson, Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, Werner von Braun, Robert Emenegger, Gene Kranz, James Webb, Joe Kerwin, Dr. Thomas Paine, Glenn Looney, Dr. Christopher Kraft, Dr. James Van Allen, General Trudeau, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Simon, and Grant Norwood. People broke into my house 2 times. I was visited by men with black suits, and I was told in no uncertain terms to drop this whole project, not to say anymore to anybody, or me and my wife and my son could disappear. His name is Cyrus Eugene Akers. He was born on July 17th, 1933. He died on September 28th, 2002. Here's his badge, and I want to see if I can get as close as possible so that you can read the numbers on the bottom, which are, that's my dad. And it must have been a really early picture because he's only got 2 stripes, so that was back in the 50s, I'm sure.
Oh, hey! We got a live one, ladies and gentlemen. But this dude ain't paying attention. And he don't know he's dealing with the guy. Here's the proof positive right here. First of all, to never trust nobody who shakes his own mustache up. Number 2, I showed everybody this yesterday. This was found in Memphis, Tennessee, boss. I didn't really go into depth about what that is. And as you can see here, they trying to get rid of it. Now, why would you get rid of this beautiful piece of artwork? It's made out of alabaster. Meaning, soon as you touch it, it will start healing you. It can help you with your meditation. Now, what I didn't talk about is what that right there is. See, because you getting hung up on just the statue, but it's actually a time capsule. There are records and books up underneath of that right there, boss. That is in Memphis, Tennessee. Those records are meant to push mankind forward. This is what they don't talk about, and you, my friend, certainly ain't getting us no closer to nothing. You responded to me talking about anime and all this other. This cat don't know he talking to the God. This here is a full page of what I posted the other day. If you look close, you'll see they say that there was a whole city there, and that the Sphinx was exactly like the one in Egypt. You must have been in the back row when I was telling everybody and talking about it yesterday. Listen, bro, stop shaping up your own beard. Go look at my other videos. I'm trying to help you. If you don't want the help, get off my channel. To my people, I love y'all. Peace to the gods and the goddesses of the planet.